Okay, so hello, and this is the fourth game uh, from the Racha Open, and I was playing against a 1900 yellow player with black, unfortunately, and he opened with e4. I played e5, played knight f3, d6, all standard so far. d4, I took it, and he took it with a knight because on the previous occasion, his friend played queen takes d4 and didn't get much out of the opening. So played the main line knight takes d4. After g6, knight c3, bishop g7, and bishop f4. This is a weird move, an interesting move that shouldn't give any advantage. Obviously, bishop e3 is the main line, and play might continue knight c6. But after bishop f4, well, here I played knight c6, which is theory, but okay, it remains to be seen what is the best continuation, because he played bishop b5, and I don't think that this is good for black. Bishop d7 is obvious, and bishop takes c6, b takes c6, and queen d2. So he's following a standard plan. He's a Sicilian player, and he wants to exchange the bishops on h6. So I decided to avoid all of that and play rook b8, which is an extremely interesting move, and the move which I came up with. It's an interesting move, right? It's an interesting move, but I think that okay, it's a risky move. I wanted to go for a win, because if I play knight f6, so bishop h6, bishop takes, queen takes h6, and black has I don't know, 0 winning chances, I should say. Okay, let's see. So after queen d2, rook b8, castles, and I decided to go for even more aggression and played rook b4. Again, as I said, knight f6, just exchanging bishops. So rook b4, and here he played knight b3, which is a very good move, and in a style of Sicilian defense. But after the game, one of his friends pointed out, that one of my opponent's friends pointed out, that e5, so after rook b4, e5 was a good move. Now obviously I have to play c5, and okay, it remains to be seen what is exactly happening, because you take on d6, then rook takes d4, queen e3 check, and okay, this is definitely not good. So okay, this looks very interesting, right? King f8 and d takes c7, and it seems that white has a good advantage. So what I'm thinking is that I think that we need to recheck the theory that this knight c6 doesn't seem to be a good move. So maybe the theory will give as the time passes, the new moves will be found, because it seems that bishop b5 is a good refutation to this knight c6 in the spirit of the queen d4 line. So okay, let's continue. So because exchanging this knight on c6 is just seems like a bad strategical decision for black. After rook b8, castles, rook b4. So I think rook b4 is correct. It's just because there is no knight on c6, the position is just very bad for black. He played knight b3 though, and I played bishop e6, which is a logical move. I was thinking of rook c4 too, but okay, I think bishop e6 is a more human and logical move. And now rook h e1, and I decided to play queen b8. And he took time to play king b1. I mean, it's a very interesting move, king b1. I mean, it's again in the spirit of Sicilian defenses, right? In the Sicilian as white, you play king b1. So at the time I thought it was waste of time, but it wasn't. Now here again, knight f6 is the computer move. But I mean, knight f6, well, first of all, bishop h6 is logical to exchange bishops. But even e5 here looks pretty good, and I think okay, where is the advantage for black? So after king b1, a5. So I decided to go all out and attack. I wanted to risk it because I need a win in the tournament. I mean, if I draw, then I mean, this is not a professional tournament where I'm trying to gain some ELO rating by drawing. Okay, a5, and he played this e5, and this e5 came as a big shock because, and I spent around 30 minutes on this move because, and my idea was this, that I wanted to play a4. I wanted to make this work. a4, e takes d6, obvious. C takes d6. Well, this is what I thought, that c takes d6, then bishop d6 is winning. So after a4, so a4, e takes d6, a takes b3. You have to go for it, or else why did you play a4? D takes c7, and the problem is that after b takes c2, because you need a check and you need to win the rook, right? But after queen takes c2, the problem is there is no bishop f4, bishop f5, because it's pinned. So this is completely lost because queen cannot move because rook d1 is made, rook d8 is made, and even if so, then I mean, even if I move to a1, I mean, first of all, he can just check and win this. So okay, but okay, I think that yeah, so that's it. So I couldn't make the variation work. So I decided that after e5, I had no other choice but to block the position. Okay, this is a very interesting game, obviously, and I had to block my own bishops. I blocked my both bishops, but at least his bishop on f4 is neutralized. And he played a3, an excellent move. I think my opponent played very well this game. So a3, because this asks the rook to make a move. Now, if I play rook b6, obviously knight takes a5. I mean, I would take, but first this. Yeah, this is what I thought during the game. Knight a4 first, and then knight takes at some point, and this is winning for white because I lost all initiative and I haven't castled. So I decided that okay, I have to take this. There is a weird a4 move, which involves sacking both knights. It's insane. After takes, takes. And now, well, c takes b3, and now queen takes b4. But I'm not convinced. I mean, why is black okay here? So I think rook takes b3 was a good move, and my opponent also praised it because that was the only chance I had. So after c takes, queen takes b3, he wasn't sure what to do because this is not very easy. I mean, first of all, I have a lot of pawns and I have two bishops, so and his king is already exposed. And so after a long think, he played queen d4, which is not the best move, but okay. And now I played knight e7, and he played queen c5, which is a mistake, but we both missed it. He thought he was preventing me castling, but actually he's not, because after castles and queen takes e7, rook b8, and this attack is very strong. I think this attack is just nearly unstoppable. So he blundered with queen c5, but you know, at some point I was in a mood to play actively with the king, and I think in the hindsight this was the losing idea, because after king d7, now my king is stuck in the center. He played bishop g5, very wrong idea, because I have knight f5 now, because now I'm protecting the e7 square. And now he played g4. I played rook b8, obvious, and now he played rook d2, which is the only move. And here, okay, I mean, my plan was bishop f8, and my plan was bishop f8 all along. But unfortunately, bishop f8 fails. I mean, if I had foreseen white's next move, I would not have played bishop f8. But okay, I played bishop f8, and to my horror, knight e4 came. But I think black's play can be justified, because after rook d2, I could play h6 first, and after bishop f4, maybe okay. Yeah, now I can play tactically, right? Now I can play tactically. Well, I can first kick the bishop, and bishop e3 I think is obvious. Yeah, bishop e3. In any case, I think black has a good counterplay. But after rook d2, I played bishop f8, and to my horror, knight e4 came on the board, and I was so shocked. And after a minute think, I had no other choice. I had to play knight e7. And here he played, well, if I play knight g7, then knight f6 check is winning. So like this. So after knight e4, knight e7 is forced. And now knight f6 check and king c8, the only move to stay in the game. And he played rook e3, absolutely correct moves. And I found this very interesting idea with queen a4, and I tried to confuse my opponent here. Later, after the game, one of the friends of my opponent said that here, let's see, knight takes h7 was good. My idea was to play queen takes g4, knight takes f8, and queen takes g5. And this is okay, not a very unclear position. And my opponent decided, well, okay, let's block this file. But this allows queen b5 now, and after queen takes b5, it's very important to play c takes b5. It's very tempting to play rook takes b5, but after knight takes h7, black is completely lost, because the bishop can't move, the knight is falling. And so knight cannot come to g6 to protect it. So it's obvious that c takes b5 is forced. And here he played rook c3, attacking my pawn. And obviously it's defended, but he wants to double rooks on the c file. So I played king b7, the best move. And he played rook d1 to reroute the rook to the c1. And I played h6, just to make sure that the knight can never take on h7. So bishop moves to e3, and now bishop g7. It's hard to come up with a move here, and then it's clear that Engine wants me to give up the pawn and give this bishop some breathing room. I think that's what I should have done, but yeah, it's hard to give up the bishop. It's hard to give up the pawn, sorry. So after bishop g7, rook d to c1 was played, and now c6 is forced, but c6 now means that there will never be c5 break, and I'm condemned to passivity. So bishop d4, and now, okay, well, I should have played this move earlier, but okay, rook c8 is just playing, drifting, yeah, playing for no reason. I mean, this move doesn't help in anything. But after b3, this is a waste of move. Now I have a chance to play h5. This is the move which I should have played anyway. And after h3, now I decided to exchange. I mean, it's clear that exchanging favors white because white gets the h file, but I wanted to just liberate my position, yeah? And now I played bishop h6 and to stop f4, so I don't want f4 to happen, so I want to put my bishop on f4. So rook h1, and first this intermezzo, bishop to d2, and now bishop f4. And now I am condemning the light squared bishop on d4 to protect this pawn. So after b4 was played, and now, yeah, this is an insane decision. I think I should not have played like this, but okay, things got out of control. I played a4, but in the hindsight, I think that closing the position here was not good. It does look intuitive, right? Because you want to block the position, but actually no. Because I was afraid that after a takes, the rook would come to a2. But okay, this was a bad plan. So I played a4, and now he played bishop c5. Very good move, because asking the knight, okay, what you're doing. So I played knight g8, so we can exchange these knights. So knight takes, rook takes, and now bishop d4. Yeah, he played very well. I mean, this is the only best move, only good move actually. So I played, yeah. Now here again, I'm drifting. Yeah, I'm drifting. Rook d8, f3. Now one finesse, right? I can't take here. Let's see. I can't take here because of rook a4. I think it's pretty obvious that this is lost. So after bishop d4, rook d8. Now f3 protects it, and now rook c8. And uh, this is interesting. It should be a draw because, well, I'm blocking the position, but it's not hard. It's not easy for black to do this because okay, instead of rook d8, maybe something else. But yeah, I think it doesn't matter. The problem is that let's see. After rook g2, I played g5 because I don't know what to do really. How to? I think g5 is condemning myself. But okay, maybe uh, because if he plays g5 himself, this is what I was afraid. For example, I play king c7. He plays g5. Now let's see, rook e8, and now I didn't like this position. I thought that okay, bishop. Yeah, if he plays this, then I have bishop f5. Okay, and then my bishop gets liberated, and okay. So I think that in the hindsight, okay, I shouldn't have played g5 myself. So and after this move, I think that there is no turning back because rook comes to h5. It has an entry point. It has a doubling point. And after king c7, he simply plays rook g1 and then rook h1. And I simply don't know how to draw this. It is maybe possible, but I had 3 minutes on the clock. He also had like 3 minutes. And we were playing for like 2 hours already. So after rook b8, I just exchanged. Because if I play rook b7 passively, then rook a8, rook c7, and rook h8, I don't think I can survive this two rook infiltration. So after rook h8, I exchanged. And okay, after this game lasted 1 hour more. I don't want to go into details, but this is totally lost. I think this is not holdable. I mean, it could be holdable if you have a lot of time, but the opponent had a rook, and it's easier to play with the rook. Plus, this bishop is like a pawn; it doesn't do anything. So in the long run, I think that this is not holdable with 3 minutes on the clock. But maybe it's even not holdable without 3 minutes. But anyway, I think so. There were a few moments. First of all, I think that modern theory has knight c6 here, but I think there should be the improvement must be found because bishop b5 gives white a very good game. So I think in the future maybe better moves can be found. Well, I might come up with a new move. I don't know. So and then another mistake probably where I could have done better was let's see. Okay, let's see. Here, no. Let's see. Okay, here. So this was another move here. I think this was a blunder, and I should have just castled and played like this. And this is just excellent for black. This was the second most important position in the game. Another important position was after rook d2. I mean, I had a complete blackout, and I played bishop f8, and I missed this knight e4. Instead of rook bishop f8, probably h6 or, I mean, knight d6 is a move given by the engine, but okay, it's insane, yeah? Because the knight gets rerouted to c4. That's brilliant, yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. Okay, because knight a4. Now, okay. Yeah, knight cannot get rerouted though because there's e7. I mean, it's insane. Yeah, if I can't move the knight, then why bother with this move? Yeah, it's just crazy. I have to the engine move is like for white is to give up the knight. Yeah, insane. Yeah, if I had found knight e6, that would have been amazing. Anyway, I think bishop f8 was stupid, and I think this human h6 was very good. And another probably. Okay, here, let's see, queen takes, pawn takes. Yeah, here, I don't know. I mean, already black has no initiative, so I don't think I could have done anything drastically better, yeah? I don't know. So there were a few moments in which I had a chance, but it seems that the rooks were stronger. So yeah, those two positions in which I could have done much better. Okay, but I'm still thinking after bishop f4. So what could be the move, right? Bishop d7 first. Interesting move. Knight e7, which is also very interesting. But knight e7 allows bishop. Okay, it doesn't allow yet, but or maybe I don't know. So time will tell. Okay, I think it was an interesting game. It was a more than 3-hour game, and my opponent played well, and I had my own chances, but it didn't go my way. Okay, hope you enjoyed it.